Since the beginning, the Super Mario Bros. Series has been known for being a momentum-based platformer, meaning that the faster you go, the further and higher you jump. So today, we're gonna challenge that. My brother Houston and I are gonna see if we can beat the game without gaining momentum at all. The challenge officially starts with World 1 Level 1, and since we're not able to sprint, this is going to be a somewhat long journey. But that's okay, because technically this is my first time playing the original Super Mario Bros. I know, it's been a while since the game came out, obviously, but even then, I still never touched it. This challenge gave me the opportunity to play this game and showed me what it had to offer. I'm getting off topic. So for World 1 Level 1, I was able to know exactly what the layout was. I mean, although I never played the game before, I have seen this level all the time on media. Level 2 wasn't too bad either. I mean, especially since I've seen that one as much as Level 1, basically. I mean, the most annoying part of the level is the Koopa Troopas, and that's basically it. Level 3 is a more jump-heavy course, so sprinting would be more useful here than anything, but it wasn't too bad in this challenge because, you know, it's World 1, it's gonna be easy anyway. Definitely looking good so far. And of course you got the castle level of level 4, which is definitely going to be the hardest out of all the levels in World 1. I mean, I think the hardest part about this castle was Bowser at the end and the little spinning fireball thingies. I forgot the name of those because, you know, it's easier to sprint past those, but, you know, we're walking, so once you get a good grasp of things, you can get past Bowser just fine. So this point in the challenge, we still haven't sprinted yet, and I'm hoping that it stays that way.
2-1 was actually pretty straightforward. It kind of reminded me of World 1-1, but a little bit more stuff. Just more cliffs, more enemies, etc. You take your time on this level, and it's pretty much a breeze walk at this point. 2-2 is where things really get interesting. Behold, our very first water level. I generally hate water levels in most Mario games. This one isn't an exception either. What makes this water level pretty annoying are those damn bloopers. Seriously, it's like those things know what you're gonna do at all times. It's actually pretty annoying. It's not like those cheat sheets help either, being on screen literally at all times where you have to evade them without getting hit by the blooper. Luckily for us though, swimming is just enough to avoid all those enemies that I mentioned before. Just take your time, be careful, and be patient, and this level can be passed with relative ease. Now 2-3 is where things really get annoying for us. Now you might be thinking, oh, this level can't be that bad. Well, say hello to cheap cheats flying from the bottom of the screen that you can't even see. And they do this for most of the damn level. I be minding my own business just walking, and then bam, I got hit from a random object that flew from the fucking bottom of the screen. Yeah, it's pretty doable, but annoying. Just be mindful, there's like 3 small jumps you have to make, but other than that, this level isn't that bad. 2-4 spices things up by adding fireballs, pathways, conveyor belts, etc. It's basically like a step above 1-4. Also, at the Bowser fight, there's some blocks that are added above us to make it a little bit harder to jump over him. Granted, it was already hard enough to jump over him since we can't sprint anyway. But yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary for this level.
Moving on to World 3, we knew what we were getting ourselves into when we did this challenge, but at this point, it's still like a manageable level of difficulty. Starting off with level 1, obviously the layout's going to change a little bit. I mean, it's not too different from how it usually is, but it's still the subtle differences that make things a little more difficult, especially with more and new enemies showing up like the Hammer Bros and more paratroopers. That made things a little bit more difficult to dodge too. The good thing is that there were no difficult jumps, so it was just mainly dodging enemies this time, which was fine because it just prevented us from getting stuck. Level 2 was basically just a straight run with a bunch of enemies in the way. I mean, it wasn't hard at all. There's not much to be said about this level. Level 3 was another jump heavy course, but I actually kind of liked it for some reason. I don't know if it was because of the background or the way the level was designed, but it doesn't matter. Level 4 was the same. I mean, it's always generally gonna be a harder course because of frickin' Bowser at the end. He's always the hardest part. Of course, the layout was different, but we really haven't even gotten to the difficult castles yet. Just get past Bowser and you're fine. Let me add a little note that this is the first I've ever seen World 3 content. I mean, I've seen World 1 and World 2 from media, but I've never actually been past that. So, for going in completely blind, I think I'm doing okay.
4-1 introduces us to a very special enemy, Lakitu. Lucky for us, Lakitu's not really much of a problem. His main objective is to throw these spinies on the ground. But by the time he throws it, we're already past him, so that doesn't really matter for us. Besides him, there's not really that much obstacles in 4-1. Just a basic level layout, so as long as you don't fail any jumps, you're all good. Now 4-2 is like an extended version of 1-2. Just think of it as an extension of that level. You can expect to see things like tighter passages, more conveyor belts, and more enemies, just to name a few. Now there are 2 secrets in this level alone. One of them, you have to hit a vine that takes you to a warp pipe that you can go to World 6, 7, or 8. The second secret is that you have to take the top passage of the bricks before you enter that pipe at the end of the level. Anyway, this level is plenty possible. Just don't fall through those holes or get hit by those enemies and you're good. Now 4-3 starts us pretty light. Oh, okay, maybe that was a fluke. Let's try it again. Okay, let's go underneath the platform. Yeah, we ran into one of those jumps that are kind of impossible to do without sprinting. Believe me, we tried this one jump for at least an hour. And before you ask, why don't you just bounce off the Koopa Troopas to get height? Well, in this game, you really can't get height off of enemies that you bounce off of. With that being said, 4-3 is definitely not possible to beat without sprinting. Which is a damn shame because beyond this point, the rest of the level is actually beatable without sprinting. But our cause is not lost yet. Remember when I said there were some secret exits in 4-2? Yeah, that's right. We're gonna go back and take the secret exit to jump to World 5. Now you might be asking, why don't you just take the secret exit to jump to World 8? So you can just be close to beating the game. Well, we want the thrill of playing as many levels as we can, and it would feel pretty cheap just skipping all the way to the end. So with that being said, let's skip on over to World 5.
Now that we're in World 5, we officially made it halfway through the game, and we still haven't sprinted yet. It's actually starting to look possible to do this without sprinting. But anyway, level 1 of World 5 was a little different than usual. There weren't that many hard jumps and there weren't that many enemies, but that was because they were introducing the Bullet Bill. And trust me, he's going to be very useful later. Pretty easy level though. Now level 2 was way harder. There were a few difficult jumps in there. They even started throwing Hammer Bros at us, but nothing we couldn't get by. We even found a secret. Coin Heaven, I think it was called. It was nice. Moving on to level 3, and I think I've seen this level before. Yeah, that's right. This is the same layout as level 3 in World 1. So we reached a point in the game where we started reusing level designs now. I don't know if that's a good omen or a bad omen, but I'll take it. I mean, it is a little different though. There are bullet bills that are spawning in now. But in this game, you do it once and you do it 1,000 times. It's pretty easy to get past it. I'll admit this, we struggled with level 4 a little bit, I'll admit it. I think the hardest part about level 4 was getting the timing right for some things. Especially getting past those spinning lava things. You know what, that's it, I'm looking up the name. They're called fire bars, that's what the internet says at least. Yeah, so getting past the fire bars was the most annoying part. And we actually didn't struggle with Bowser too much this time.
6-1 marks the return of our favorite person, Lakitu. The difference between this level and the first level he appeared in is, this level has a little more cliffs to watch out for. You really gotta watch where you step in this level, because one wrong move, and you might lose a life or lose your power up. This level definitely serves as a don't get cocky moment, because it can humble you real quickly if you're not careful. Just be mindful of the spinies falling from the sky and where Lakitu throws them. Other than that, you should be relatively fine as long as you play this level carefully. 6-2 on the other hand is actually a relatively easy level. The majority of the enemies in this level are piranha plants. and piranha plants aren't really that hard to get hit by, so this level's pretty alright. Just watch that paratrooper at the end of the level. That paratrooper definitely could F you up if you're not paying attention. 6-3 takes us to I believe it's a snowy level? I don't know, textures were very limited back then. But anyway, this level is actually a little bit demanding with its platforms. You gotta be very careful with some of these jumps you make, especially on the little conveyor things. What makes this level a little challenging is that instead of playing with just by yourself, you're playing with another person. So you gotta be mindful of how long you stand on those little moving platforms. There are also bullet bills adding to the difficulty of these jumps, but by working together and playing carefully, this level is passable. 6-4, Bowser was feeling himself up a little bit. I guess he got tired of not adding a lot of things, so he added a lot of rotating fireballs throughout the level. It's actually a relatively short castle level, which is actually pretty good for us because I don't know how long I would have taken those fireballs if it was throughout the long course of the other castle levels. Bowser also upgraded himself by actually being able to throw hammers in this castle fight. Well, more like fake Bowser, because it's actually a hammer bro that you defeat in this level. But we're just gonna call him Bowser just for the sake of this video. You can either try to run under him, jump over him, or do what we just did.
What the fuck is happening? World 7, you can actually feel the game get like a good notch harder. I mean, even with sprinting, I think this is gonna be hard to get by. So starting off with level 1, I did not know how lethal of a combo a paratrooper and a bullet bill could be. You try to dodge a paratrooper and the bullet bill catches you off guard, but then when you try to wait for the bullet bill, the paratrooper just gets you. It's actually genius. And to add more to the fun, they throw in some hammer bros too. You know, they're always fun to deal with. I mean, we still managed to get past it without sprinting, but yeah, the difficulty did just spike a little bit. Level 2 was no walk in the park either. Going into it, it's literally the exact same layout as the first water level. The only thing that changed is that there are more enemies, and by enemies I mean bloopers, and bloopers are very hard to get by underneath the water. The cheap cheats aren't easy either, because trying to dodge them you might hit a blooper, and vice versa. Getting past everything was annoying, but we did it. Now if you truly want annoying, you would go to World 7 Level 3. I mean, it's the same layout as the first Cheap Cheap Bridge, but I swear there are more Cheap Cheeps. They come out in random places, and there's no guarantee that one won't hit you just by popping out. And it's not even guaranteed that Mario and Luigi will step on the Cheap Cheeps that are below them. The whole level was more annoying than it was difficult, but we managed to get through anyway. More annoying than difficult also applies to level 4, by the way. So like I said before, my brother and I are going into this blind. Well, you know what? I never actually mentioned that Houston hasn't played this either, but anyway. So there's a certain pattern that you have to complete in order to advance to the next stage of the level, and obviously we didn't know that pattern, so we spent a good amount of precious time just trying to figure that out. But once you know the path, it's over. I mean, the level is pretty much easy after that. And then after getting that system down, we had the easiest Bowser of our lives. So in summary, thank God there weren't any levels that required major jumps in World 7. Most everything in this world was based off obstacles, and that's okay. Annoying, but okay. At this point, it was tempting, but we still haven't sprinted yet.
8-1 actually starts off pretty light, giving us some pretty basic routes that we've seen throughout the worlds that we already played in, and actually starting us off pretty easy for the first half of the level. The problem doesn't come up until the second half of the level, where we have to make this pretty large jump with 2 coins in the middle, where you're intended to actually sprint to get over this gap. So we attempted this jump countless of times to really see if it was possible to do it without sprinting. And we came to the conclusion that it wasn't. So all is lost, right? Our journey ends in 8-1 just because we couldn't clear this jump. But what if I told you you were wrong? As we were jumping, we saw these 3 Goombas heading towards our way. Then we thought, why don't we use them to jump off of them so we have enough height to clear the gap? Easier said than done, because we both had to make it, not just one person. This jump surprisingly took a while to get, but eventually we did hit it. After that jump, the rest of the level is pretty doable. 8-2 on the other hand, oh boy. You know, at first looking at this level, you think it's doable. You've seen the bullet bills, you've seen the piranha plants, you've seen the little shells. You think, oh, it can't be that bad. Then you get to this jump right here. Just like 8-1, we have yet another impossible jump to make without sprinting. Of course it had to be on the last world of the game. Why wouldn't it be? So obviously, we already knew that we wouldn't be able to make this jump without sprinting. But then we remembered, those bullet bills that shoot before that jump happens, if we can somehow get them to follow us and then use them to make the jump, it's doable, right? Well, yes, but you have to account that we're playing with 2 people, not just 1. So we have to wait for a double bullet to come out. And I kid you not, this took a very, very long time to get. It seems like the bullet fires based off of the positioning of the players. So if one player is too spread out, then only 1 bullet will fire. But if both players are near each other, then 2 will fire. But the problem with that is, the person in the front has to catch up to it while dodging the piranha plant and the Koopa Troopa. And if they're a second too slow, they're gonna miss their chance to jump. But after countless tries, this happened.
Oh, we both got beat frame perfect at the same time with this fucker.
That's it. This is the one.
Let's go! Let's go! We did it! We did it!
It's over! It's over! It's over!
Oh my god!
It's over!
No! No!
Don't die! Don't die!
Don't die!
Don't die! Just don't die! Thank God that jump is over with. Anyway, the rest of the level is pretty straightforward. Just make sure you don't fall through those small jumps, and you're good to go. 8-3 has to be one of the most annoying levels I actually seen in a Mario game. At least with 8-1 and 8-2, you had an objective to get past those challenging jumps. In 8-3, there's a bunch of Hammer Bros, and if you know anything about Hammer Bros in this game, they're pretty hard to avoid if you can't go over or under them. I kid you not, we died countless of times to these guys just because we couldn't either go under or above, or we tried to time it. It was just random at any time, and honestly, these guys are pretty annoying to deal with. Personally, your best bet to get past these guys is to wait for them to jump and then walk underneath them. Or you can be ballsy and try to time your jump after they finish throwing their hammers. This level is possible, but it will really piss you off. Finally, we have 8-4, the last level of this game. Now starting off, it actually takes us through a pipe route where you have to choose the right pipes to get through. It takes elements of stuff we already seen, like incorporating swimming levels, old castles, enemies, etc. Be careful not to die in this level because there are no checkpoints in this castle. With that being said, most of the level is doable without sprinting, until you get to this part right here. That's right, in order to get to Bowser, you have to make this jump. But as you can tell, it's another one of those 8-1-8-2 situation where you need to sprint to jump. Unlike 8-1 and 8-2, there's no enemies at this point to help us clear this path. So is that it? Does the run truly stop before we even get to Bowser? That's what we would have said if there isn't one thing. In Super Mario Bros., there is a tech called wall jumping. It is an advanced glitch used by speedrunners to bypass obstacles or skip levels. It basically relies on manipulating the game's physics to think that you're still on solid ground as you're touching the wall. Beware, this is a 1 frame window, so you only have 1 frame to jump. Now this right here took a pretty long ass time. It doesn't add to the fact that we both actually have to do the glitch, not just one person. So it really added on the time of how long this thing actually took. And even if you did the glitch successfully, you still had to beat Bowser, which is no easy task without sprinting with 2 people. We died over and over and over and over again. We honestly were getting fed up, so we were about to call it quits until this happened. Hit it.
Hey, you want a break? Because I can take over the controller.
All right, I got it.
Underneath them. Yeah!
I'm done.
Oh my god, thank God.
30 fucking minutes. 30 fucking minutes of this shit. It's over. It's over. It's over.
I can't believe we did that.
I'm done.
I can't believe we did that.
I'm done.
I can't believe we did that.
I'm done. So is it possible to beat the original Super Mario Bros. Without sprinting with 2 people? Yes. Yes, it is. If y'all enjoyed this video, consider hitting the like and subscribe button, and tell us what was your favorite moment about this video. With that being said,
Bye-bye!